Welcome back to Marvel Media Podcast, where we talk about all things media, especially Marvel. I'm Blake, and here with my co-hosts, Alex and Josh.
And welcome to our review of Puss in Boots. The definition of who would have thought? Not me.
Look at us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Huh?
Who would have thought?
Not me.
Yet here we are,
Exactly.
reviewing Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. Like, if that meme personifies anything, it's this. This right here, that's what this is. Who wants to go first? Because I think I was the first one to watch it, so I'm a little bit a ways away from watching it, but Josh,
I can
think you
start
were the
it
last
off.
one to read.
Yeah, I literally just watched it yesterday. Doesn't mean I remember much. I know I liked it. I know I enjoyed it. I didn't see the first one, so the fact that you're able to watch this one without having to watch at all the first one, they clearly made references to it, but explained some of the references, I assume. Who knows? I assume there were references to the first one when it came to, like, the wedding and all that, and also, like, their past relationship between the two main characters in the movie. Overall, I'll be honest, I was surprised to enjoy it. Definitely way better than what I was expecting. Obviously, I was expecting to at least like it a bit because you guys said it was solid or it was really good, and I was going into it with that. But definitely visually, and also like the animation switch styles was kind of pretty cool throughout the film, especially when it came to like action scenes. And of course, it's DreamWorks. So the villains, every villain in this movie was fire. And really, the only kind of like downside I could say, just immediately thinking before we kind of bounce off each other, was that it was a bit of like a kind of copy paste style movie when it compared to Shrek. The dog is the donkey. You know what I mean? Like, he's definitely just kind of a bit of just a copy when it comes to that, but he still was funny at moments. But that was probably my only downside. It was kind of like, I wish there would be a little bit more original when it comes to that trio than they were. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Like,
Yeah, I'm like you. I never saw the first one. Had no idea. Just went into this to see it. And yeah, I was surprised. I definitely thought for a kid's movie, it had some deeper elements, which was kind of interesting. And like, obviously, we're all not children or have children, but we all enjoyed it because, and I think that's what a good like children's movie kind of does. Anybody, the kids can watch it, and then the adults, meant for like the parents to watch it, they can watch it and enjoy it. And this movie, I think, definitely did a good job at that. Yeah, like you said, my main thing was not even just Death the Wolf, but also Jack Hornet, I think, was the big character that John Mulaney voiced. I had no idea John Mulaney voiced him, and I just thought that was so funny when I heard it talk for the first time. I was like, is that John Mulaney? And then it just kept going, and I was like, I thought he was hilarious. But yeah, I thought Death was definitely a dope villain. Definitely showed up more in the beginning, then kind of disappeared in the middle, and then came back at the end. But yeah, I just thought, like you said, didn't see the first one, didn't have to see the first one to understand this movie, which was nice, given it's been like a decade since the first one came out. I don't even know it was a thing. But yeah, like you said, I think this movie was quite a surprise for me.
Yeah, especially since like the second one got scrapped, because this was supposed to like come out in like 2015, 2016, and then like Warner Brothers scrapped it or whatnot, the original thing. But so I was kind of surprised with that. Yeah.
well, unlike you guys, I did watch the first one, not very recently. I watched it when it came out. I was like 10 or 11 years old when it came out, so I don't remember pretty much any of it. So yeah, that basically means you don't need to watch the first one or even remember any bit about it really to understand what this movie is. It does a really good job at setting up who Puss is, who his love interest was, what their relationship was, and then it just goes on a journey of like learning that each life is precious. Like he shouldn't just be loose about it or whatever. Like he doesn't fear death because he knows he has a lot of lives that he can count on. And then by the end of the story, he realizes, he doesn't need more lives. Like he has everything he needs in the life he's living now. So, I mean, like you said, it definitely has some deeper meaning that I did not expect a children's movie to have. I don't remember any of the other DreamWorks Shrek movies or even the first Puss in Boots movie to have a scene where a character is literally bleeding. Like, that was weird because I don't remember the last time there was actually like blood coming down his face. I'm like, okay, so they're pushing that rating there. I mean, obviously it's cartoon blood, but I mean it's still like neat to see like they weren't afraid to just add it in there for the effect. Like, okay, shit, like he's actually fearing like the character death, which brings me to the character. That was the standout, dude. He was fucking great. Voice actor did an amazing job. He was my standout. He's the reason why I even decided to watch it, because I saw like a couple of clips on TikTok. I'm like, all right, fuck it. And then I think Blake sent it in the chat too, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. So I actually bought it on Apple or iTunes or whatever, and I watched it. I'm like, yep, okay, this is good. This is a good start to the year. And then Blake watched it shortly after, which I didn't know he actually rented it on iTunes as well. I thought he actually went to go see it in theaters, but I kind of regret not going to see it, or like we had no like we said, we had no expectations for this movie. We thought it was just going to be like another generic kids movie, and nothing was going to come of it. But that's wild that they actually like made me actually enjoy the movie. Like, for me, I actually wrote notes on this. My one gripe with the movie. Now, I like the character, and I told you this. I said there's one character that I just thought was on screen way too much, and that is Jack Horner, the character. I like the character itself. I don't know what it was. I liked when he was introduced, and I liked that whole thing, and I wrote it down here too. I said I personally felt like I could have done without him after they stole the map at the pie factory and just had the wolf take on the role as the sole main villain from there. That was just my thing. Like, I felt like he was just a bit much like afterwards. I don't know. I felt like he kind of took the shine away from Death, but that's literally my only gripe with it, which surprised me because both of you guys said that you guys were pleased about it, which, I mean, to each their own. But me personally, yeah, that was my gripe. Not the character itself, but how long he was on screen for. So
I like how long he was actually on it, because it kind of pushed the movie forward more with him being kind of like a second big bad for like everybody else. And then at the end, they realized that Puss in Boots was literally running away from death. But I don't know. I enjoyed it because I think the best part about DreamWorks animated movies is their uniqueness in their characters. So the more I get a kind of cool, unique character, I'll take it when it comes to that. So that's why I think for me, I didn't really mind it at all. Especially, who he was voiced by was also goofy. So I enjoyed that too. But yeah, I don't know. I like overall, like I would say for Death, for a kids movie, I will say that at least one of those scenes had to genuinely scare a kid. Had to. At least one of them.
Oh.
At least one of them.
Like,
so I was just thinking when I was watching those, bro.
Stairs down.
Yeah. Or like just the whistle, and even when he in the star, he bursts through the flame just walking through it. I'm like, okay, so he just can't die at all there. But yeah. So Death alone just makes it fun to watch. I wish I was able to see it in theaters. I was not able to definitely for the visuals. That would have been nice. But I really can't say like too much bad about this movie. There wasn't really one other than like a little bit of cheesiness in the beginning, like it's definitely not a strong hitter for DreamWorks, you know, but it definitely was solid, especially for, you know, Puss in Boots, which isn't in the Shrek universe, not like the top guy, I would say, you know. So the fact you're able to make a great movie about a character that not too many people are riding hard for and come out great was very impressive.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think in the beginning, Death was dope, especially like the intro to him kind of like when they met at the bar, like that whole scene, that had to have scared some kind of kid. Like he was cool in that. You know, I agree with you that I think for a character like Puss in Boots I guess, you know, there was a Solo movie a decade ago that we didn't pay attention to, but to come back and give him, I don't guess, a sequel, technically, if they can, you know, connect, and to do as good as they did, I think was definitely really impressive. But like we said, DreamWorks definitely has, you know, they make good movies for anybody, regardless of the age. It's not just like we can watch their movies and be like, okay, those are good. And like you said, villains, they kind of specialize in making dope villains. I thought Jack Burnett was just hilarious. I just loved every time he came on screen. I was like, yes, I'm gonna laugh at something he's gonna say. And so that's why I enjoyed him. But yeah, I definitely think I agree with you. I think that like element of having Jack kind of be the villain in a sense that like other people were worried about, and then at the end when what was her name, Kitty Softpaws, I think, like realized like, oh, you're running from like actual death, like he's after you, like damn. I think that just kind of added to it. And yeah, the fight scene was pretty cool at the end.
It was a great fight scene. Yeah, it got me into it, I'll be honest. It did. They got me. It was great.
So yeah, no, I definitely think this movie was very impressive, and it's kind of funny. This is actually the first movie that I've seen of 2023. So, you know, starting off the year pretty good.
Yeah. Let's say if they came out with another one, like a third one of a Puss in Boots just alone for that, I would actually give it a shot, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I would be like looking forward to that. Which, I mean, we haven't really said too many spoilers for this, so I guess this is a little bit of a spoiler, just the end of them possibly teasing another Shrek, of him saying, you know, meet my old friends. So this definitely seems like possibly DreamWorks launching a soft movie with Puss in Boots. You know, that way if it flopped too hard, they can just use an excuse saying, oh, he's not a main character, you know, for them. He's not on that level, so that's why he failed. But if it hits, gives them an excuse to maybe launch some other projects, like possibly another Shrek. So, just saying.
The SCU maybe is back. This is Shrek Cinematic Universe.
It's wild.
Oh, man, gotta love it.
Maybe even a solo donkey movie.
I have heard that they talked to. I saw an interview recently with Eddie Murphy, and the interviewer was like, "If they did another like Shrek, would you be down?" And he was like, "Oh, I wouldn't a heartbeat." And he even said, he was like, "I was actually kind of surprised that like Puss is a good character, but he wasn't like one of the main ones. Like I was kind of surprised Donkey didn't get his own movie." So it kind of like seems like Eddie Murphy would even be down if they wanted to, you know, really build the SCU and get a Donkey solo movie first, and then get the combo, the big trio to come together in the future, you know, reunite Shrek and them. But
have a Shrek level threat.
Like you said, Josh. Yeah, we really need. It's gonna be hard to top Death. I'll be honest, Death. I'm really gonna need to pull out.
They'll find a way, bro.
I don't know.
Find a way.
I don't know if it's like the itsy bitsy spider, the water. I don't know who it is.
It's literally Death.
It's gonna be rough.
Yep.
But I agree with you. If they came out with a third Puss in Boots, I definitely agree. I would give it a shot.
Me too. Like I said it immediately afterwards. I was like, I'm actually kind of surprised that I slept on this. Like I genuinely, I don't remember any of us talking about this movie. We didn't even mention it in our like in any of our videos for like movies that are coming out soon or whatnot. And this movie made me a believer. And I'm like, okay, I'll genuinely give Puss in Boots 3 a shot, especially if they keep like the same style, you know, of like the original style of animation, and then mixing in that kind of I don't know, Into the Spider-Verse type of
Yeah, that's what I felt. Yeah, too. When I was watching,
animation
I don't know how to describe that
during the fight scenes. Yeah, it definitely is. And you know what? I liked it because it makes it feel more like you're in the action. So I was like, okay, good job.
That was
good
cool.
job, DreamWorks.
Like they're trying something different there.
Yeah, it paid off. So,
I also don't feel like this movie got advertised like well either. Like I only saw it from like TikTok edits of death. That's the only reason I even knew this movie was out now. And then like people were like, "Oh, it's actually like selling decent, doing like good enough in the box office." Like that's the only way I knew, because people were making memes about it. So
yeah, same. I kept seeing a bunch of death like edits and stuff on TikTok, and I was like, "All right, I'll give it a shot." But hey, maybe they wanted to do that on purpose. They didn't want to spend a bunch of money marketing, so they're like, put it on streaming so people can take clips right from their computer, recording it, or TV, and then post it for us, and boom, we got free marketing. So it worked because it got all three of us to see it solely because we saw edits and stuff.
Definitely was a shot in a dark movie for them.
Nailed it. I don't know, do you guys have any other closing thoughts here before we get into ratings?
Nope.
No.
All right, I'll go first, I guess. I'm gonna give it like I'll go 7.6. I enjoyed this movie for the most part. I definitely thought, I don't think it was super short for a kids movie. I think it was close to 2 hours actually.
Yeah.
Which I feel like for kids movies is kind of long. But it did not feel like that at all to me. And like I said, I genuinely laughed a couple times, and like we said, Death was a dope character, so I'll give it like a 7.6.
I'll give it a 7.5. Really good movie. There's nothing much more I can say that I haven't said already.
I'm a sucker for DreamWorks, so I give it a 8.2 out of 10. If there's a great villain in it, I'm gonna watch it every time.
Damn.
It's valid.
Okay.
It's valid.
Okay. But
I don't know, man. DreamWorks, I'd be excited if it's not even Puss in Boots, if we just continue doing other, as long as DreamWorks comes out with stuff, I'm down with it. Usually pretty good.
I'm trying to think if there's even like a DreamWorks movie and like besides like that first Puss in Boots, like really in like the last 8 to 10 years that I just haven't seen. Like I realized like I really like DreamWorks movies, especially after I like not too long ago rewatched all the Kung Fu Pandas. They're just so good. They're just great. Very underrated,
Yeah.
Just saying, they're way better than
DreamWorks,
Pixar. Just gonna say it.
They drop bangers.
They are.
they even have their own intro. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Intro's fire.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think that's gonna do it for this video, though. Make sure to like this video. Comment down below if you've seen Puss in Boots, what you thought of it. If you haven't, give it a shot. We all gave it pretty good ratings, so if you haven't, give it a shot. Comment below. If you have, make sure to subscribe to the channel as always. Check out Apple Podcasts, drop the podcast version at the same time these come out, and we'll see you guys in the next one.